Hey everybody, hey my Nurse Baes. My name is Brittany and you are watching A Dose of Nurse Bae. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. If you're new to my channel, I am a registered nurse and an international board certified lactation consultant. So I help mothers with breastfeeding. I have a virtual breastfeeding business where I do virtual consultations for breastfeeding mothers, and also I host monthly breastfeeding basics classes. So if you're interested in participating in that, I will put the link down below in my description box. Also, I just enjoy making videos about lifestyle things, also nursing, and just anything that I feel is uplifting and can help the collective. So with that being said, let's dive right into the topic of today's video, which is breastfeeding after having had implants, breast augmentation. I have a lot of moms and expecting moms who are wondering if they can breastfeed after having had breast surgery. The short answer is yes, absolutely, you can breastfeed your baby. Now, the concern after you've had augmentation is that it may affect your ability to bring in a full milk supply. Now, this is a true concern, and there are some things that you can do to help get off to the best start possible. So before we dive into that, let's just talk about some of the basic reasons about why after you have an augmentation, it can affect your milk supply negatively. Whenever you do any type of surgery, there may be scar tissue. Some of the milk-making tissue may have been removed from your breast. So if you have scar tissue and you have less milk-making tissue available, that can affect your ability to bring in a full milk supply. If you have not had your surgery yet, you can speak to your physician about your desire to breastfeed, and he may be able to give you an incision that will support you better in that desire. So for example, if the incision is made up under the muscle, you have a better chance of bringing in a full milk supply, because hopefully there will be less scar tissue, there will be less damage to the actual milk making area. If your nipple is removed, that puts you at a greater risk for having issues with your supply or being able to remove the milk from your breast. The reason being is because the nipple is very sensitive. You feel sensation from your nipple. And a part of the breastfeeding process is that as your nipple is stimulated by the baby sucking, your body senses that stimulation, triggers the body to let down or release the milk, and also triggers the hormones that help you to keep producing milk. If you do not have sensation in your nipple because your nipple has been removed during that procedure and reapplied, and you no longer feel the way that you should, that could cause some issues with the milk supply. So for my moms who have had this procedure, what I would recommend that you do immediately after having your baby is initiate breastfeeding early on. The more your body gets stimulated, the more milk you should produce as the days go on. So getting started early and having your baby nurse frequently is going to be a benefit to you, and it's going to help set that process in motion to hopefully bring in that nice full milk supply. Another thing that I would do is find out if the facility that you're delivering at has a lactation consultant available so that she can create a specific plan tailored just for you and baby, and encourage your body to do what it's supposed to do, which is bring in that full milk supply. If you are delivering at home or in a birthing center, I would look into your local IBCLCs or lactation consultants in your area, that can assist you during that time. So another thing that may be helpful for you is to consider pumping in addition to breastfeeding for the first 2 weeks. The rationale behind that is you're giving your body a little extra stimulation with the pump. The more stimulation, the more milk you should begin producing. In general, I wouldn't recommend moms get started pumping so soon, but because of the history of the breast surgery, in that specific case, it might be beneficial for a mother to pump in addition to breastfeeding for the first 2 weeks until your supply ideally comes in nice and full. There is a book that you may find very helpful. It's called Making More Milk. I will put the link down in the description box below. And it was written by a woman who has a lot of experience. She's an IBCLC, and she's had a lot of experience working with moms after they've had breast augmentation. And she wrote an entire book. It's not just for moms who have had breast surgery. It's for everybody who is interested in getting off to a great start with breastfeeding and bringing in that full milk supply. So it's called Making More Milk, and it's by, the name is slipping me. It's okay. I will put it down in the description box below. So if you are going to pump in addition to breastfeeding, remember, baby comes first. Let that baby go on, feed, get what he or she needs from the breast, and then you would be pumping after she or he breastfeeds. You can pump your breast for 15 to 20 minutes. That should be sufficient, and maybe do that a couple times a day after the feedings. You don't have to necessarily pump after each and every single feeding session, but let's just say you pump maybe 3 or 4 times a day in addition to breastfeeding, with baby coming first to the breast. Okay, baby goes to the breast first, gets what he needs, and then pumping is just a secondary act that you're doing to help stimulate your breast for those first 2 weeks to encourage your milk supply. Now again, that is not a rule, it's just a recommendation that I would give to moms who have had a history of breast surgery. Another thing is to become familiar with hand expression, especially during those first few days. Hand expression is a technique where you can use your hands to release milk from your breast. Your nurse should be able to help you with that, or your lactation consultant. There is also a really good video on how to do it on a website called firstdroplets.com, and I will put the link to that down in the description box below. That is a website that was created by a pediatrician, or she may be a neonatologist. Her name is Jane Morton. She is amazing, phenomenal, super supportive of breastfeeding, and she encourages all moms to get familiar with hand expression towards the end of their pregnancy. Once they're term, 37 weeks, you can start trying to do a little hand expression so you can get familiar with how you can use your hand to collect some of that colostrum. Now, the reason why that may be beneficial is because, remember, stimulation. We're trying to get your body stimulated. The more stimulation, hopefully the more milk you should begin producing as the days go on. So you can have your baby nurse. Remember, baby always comes first. Baby breastfeeds. And then after the baby breastfeeds, you can use your hand to express a little milk from the breast, collect some of that colostrum, which is the first milk that your body makes. You can collect it into a teaspoon or a little medicine cup, because there's not going to be a whole lot of it right after you deliver, and that's normal. But you can collect a little bit of that milk and give it to the baby after the feedings. It's a little top off. It's a little extra milk for baby, and your breast gets stimulated as well. So it's a win-win situation. I absolutely love hand expression, and I think it's something that all moms should be familiar with. So those are just a couple things that come to mind when it comes to breastfeeding after you have had augmentation. I hope that you find this video helpful. If you have questions, comments, concerns, definitely let me know how you feel down in the description box below. If there are topics that you would like me to speak about in the future concerning breastfeeding, or pretty much anything, let me know. I'm interested to hear what's on your mind, maybe the experiences that you've had with breastfeeding your baby after augmentation, or just anything that you think might be helpful for another sis. This channel is meant to be a sisterhood, a mutual exchange, so I love to hear from y'all. If you are interested in virtual breastfeeding consultations or taking one of my monthly breastfeeding basics classes, visit my website at nursebaylactation.com, and that's nursebay, B-A-Y, lactation.com, and I will also put that information in the description box below. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Sending love and light. Till next time.